Is Sarah Marcello, and the podcast I chose to talk about today is about vaccines and whether they are safe or not. They talk about all the ways vaccines are tested, and according to them, they rule out vaccines as a causation of autism. They speak to public health researchers and professionals, including a neurologist, about how they don't cause any neurological abnormalities in the children treated with vaccines. I decided this was a topic because I have a personal interest in how my son got autism. If it wasn't for the vaccine MMR, then what caused his decline in social growth? Why is he struggling with things most children do not, like tying his shoes? I'm very interested in what makes vaccines safe enough for babies all the way to children who are 5 years old when they go to school. When children are diagnosed with autism, simple tasks that you would think of, like tying your shoes or doing laundry or brushing your teeth would be simple. But with kids on autism, you have to break down the steps so that they're much more detailed. Like step 1, straighten the laces. Step 2, cross the laces at the top. These are things that most parents don't really think about. And it's sad because kids on the spectrum, they really don't understand the ways that other kids do. One of the new things that was brought up in the podcast that was surprising to me was that people thought getting multiple shots could cause a child to be more susceptible to getting asthma. And I've always thought, in order to get asthma, you have to have a parent or maybe someone close in your relatives who had it for you to be able to get it. And here people think multiple vaccines are the cause? That seems ridiculous to me. I'm really glad that all the testing has been done to prove that vaccines don't cause autism, because that makes getting my kids vaccinated less scary for me. And any grandkids I might have in the future, I will also, be safer for them from diseases that these vaccines are there to protect them from. Now that I've listened to the broadcast, I'm not as worried as I was about the side effects maybe that vaccines could give. My questions are now different because I don't think autism comes from vaccines. And that's why, even though I might do a slightly different approach, I'm still going to get them all vaccinated from here on in. Autism. I really have a few questions about this. I only talked about vaccines, and they basically aren't the cause. So now my questions all relate to why. Why does autism, where does it come from? Why, if you have one kid on the spectrum, you don't have any more? Or why do you have multiples? I've met families that have all 3 of their kids that are on the spectrum. Why is that? It's so many questions and no answers. It's so frustrating. People really need to know what causes autism. That's what I really would have liked to know about on the broadcast. Here's my son, Virgil, the one I was telling you about that has ASD or autism spectrum disorder. He might look regular and really tall and gorgeous, but he actually has anxiety so bad that sometimes he can't even function because he just focuses on the negative or what is causing the problem. What thing he thinks he needs to be worried about. And it really frustrates me because he's such a sweetheart. And I really wish he could just be like all the other kids. In my future career, I want something that helps people. I want to understand why they behave the way they do and how I can help personally. I've always been someone who talked to anyone and have always been a good listener. And I always thought maybe I'd get into a career to do just this, to listen, to help, to understand. My life was not headed that way until this year. And with all the current pandemic, I believe this job would be being a psychotherapist or someone in that field is needed more now than ever. Due to the pandemic, we need more. We're way more isolated than we used to be. And for a culture that is very susceptible and very social, this has been very hard. I hear all the time that isolation has been so hard, especially for the younger kids. And the Rates of suicide are higher than ever before. I have told people on social media, if they need to talk, please call me. If you just want to have prayer for them, then I'll do it. I am reaching out to anyone and everyone because we all need the contact with others, especially right now. Thank you.